I'm Danae Brazell. I'm back with, I guess, a very on theme for the channel video, but also quite a different video vibes wise, I guess. Today I will be talking through my feelings after watching Sentimental Value, a film that I absolutely loved and originally wasn't planning on talking about here, but it's been 2 weeks now since I saw it and I can't stop thinking about it and I have a lot of thoughts on it, so this is definitely going to be a very different kind of video for me. I have a more clearly written out script for this one, so if I'm on my phone quite a bit, that's why there might end up being like other footage I cut over it to make this more interesting to look at. But yeah, I don't quite know how to start this, so I guess I'll just get straight into it. Yeah, I originally wasn't planning on making a Sentimental Value video, primarily because I was planning on just waiting to talk about it when I was going to do a video I'm currently kind of working up to doing, which is about Joachim Trier's entire filmography and kind of going through my feelings across all of his films, because I do think they're all thematically linked. So I really just wasn't planning on doing a Sentimental Value video, but as I said, and will probably say a million times in this video, I just have a lot to say about this film. So I really love this movie. I think it's very special. I kind of keep asking myself if it's too soon to put in my Letterboxd top 4, but I think I will wait at least for a rewatch before I do that. But don't be shocked if you see it there pretty soon, because I just think, I don't know, this film has achieved something very special for me. And yeah, I felt this intro's really bad. I thought once we get into the details of this video it'll be easier, but this intro feels very hard for me to make, to be honest. So yeah, I will not be analysing the filmmaking itself in this video like I normally do, even though it is phenomenal. Normal I really be making super clear thematic points. Obviously the theme will come up in this discussion, but this is more of a personal analysis of the film and what I felt from it versus a filmmaking kind of analysis or critique. Because yeah, today I just want to really talk about my feelings on this film in a way that's probably more earnest than I normally allow, certainly on the internet at least. And yeah, I'm definitely, that's going to be why the vibes of this is very different, because this is quite an earnest video for me, and it's also why I have it written out so clearly as well. But it's because this film just feels very personal to me in a very specific way, and I don't think I would be able to discuss it at all otherwise if I didn't make a more just earnest and emotional video. But that's also why it is so, again, strictly scripted. So I guess I'm just gonna have to start like reading it. I don't know, I may film like B-roll of trees or some shit to try and make this more interesting looking, because I don't know if me just reading on my phone is a great video. But let's start talking about Sentimental Value. As the eldest daughter in a family that most certainly has its problems, this film felt like being gently carried through so many of my complex feelings over the last few years of my life. And now, for obvious reasons, I will be talking about this film in a more vague sense. I do not think speaking openly on the internet about my family's personal experiences is appropriate, because ultimately I love my parents, both in spite of and due to their most frustrating traits. And I think for me, Sentimental Value achieves 2 main things. Firstly, it validates my feelings and experience as the eldest daughter in a family that has drastically changed in the face of its dysfunction. My anger, sadness, and complicated sense of loss about what our family could be or could have been. But the film also highlights the kind of forgiveness I've ultimately chosen in my own life too. Our parents are people first and foremost, long before they are parents, obviously. They are often the product of troubled, perhaps difficult parents themselves. I know mine are. Definitely know mine are. And as much as we obviously all know that familial traumas or difficulties are often generational, sometimes even cyclical in nature, I do think we often forget that thought when we are dealing with our own familial difficulties as they are happening. Which I do think is completely justified as well. I think being unable to see that bigger picture in the moment is a fair response and a fair frustration. When we are dealing with something directly in front of us, it's often too close for us to see the edges. What I think Sentimental Value communicates so effectively is both the frustration born out of these experiences in our own homes, yet also the kind of empathy we ultimately extend to our parents because we love them and can reach the understanding that they are simply hurt people too. The film at no point disregards the anger felt by children in dysfunctional homes, often validating those feelings instead. We see how frustrated, especially Nora, often is with her father, while also seeking some form of validation from him, even though she claims this isn't necessary to her. Yet despite this frustration, which feels both distant and residual, but also ever-present and sometimes overwhelming, the film ultimately chooses forgiveness in whatever way you can muster it. I do not believe forgiveness of people either has to result in the complete forgiveness or justification of others' actions. Sometimes it is simply about looking at someone and saying that the good in them is enough for the difficulties to be put to rest. Forgiveness as a process is not linear, nor does it lead to complete peace with every action a person enacts. Sometimes forgiveness still contains anger in moments when you return to analyse the minutiae of a situation. Forgiveness and acceptance do not, in my opinion, have to mean feeling positively or even neutrally about others' actions or our resulting circumstances. It can also mean an acceptance of our own frustration in regards to someone's actions, like our parents, in tandem with our broader acceptance of their flaws as we love them enough to do so. Sentimental Value places this validation of our frustration alongside our capacity for empathy and forgiveness, proving that these feelings can and often do coexist. Also, for me, this film captured the relationship between siblings in a complicated family such as this one in a way that felt so relatable to my own relationship with my younger brother that it honestly terrified me, to the point where I called him immediately after seeing this. The conversation between Nora and Agnes towards the end of Sentimental Value was so similar to conversations we have had that it felt as though the dialogue had been pulled directly from my memory. Being forced to analyse my own sacrifices that were made in an effort to maintain a semblance of order was confronting and devastating. However, I know that I, just like Nora, would still make the same choices because it meant we would be okay in the end. Even though in the same breath I have to at least somewhat mourn what that has and may continue to cost me. The acceptance of this too, along with the broader forgiveness of our parents' failures, is what rests at the heart of Sentimental Value for me. I am endlessly grateful to Joachim Trier and everyone involved in this film for making something that truly validated and gave catharsis to the complicated feelings I've been living with for years now. Sentimental Value truly helped in some part of my healing. And those are my thoughts on Sentimental Value. Certainly more earnest and emotional than normal for me here. Obviously, like, I don't sound super emotional about it because I'm not like a super outwardly emotional person, but the fact that like I kind of got into a weird flow state and wrote that in the first place 2 weeks after seeing the film, I think kind of is the greatest indicator of the emotional weight it's had with me. Yeah, I almost don't know how to finish this video now either, but yeah, I love Sentimental Value. Everyone should watch it. And aside from that, the next video on this channel, real switch of pace, is probably going to be me going through all of the F1 car liveries once they're all released So we have, I think, about half the grid so far, but once those are all out, I will be on here rating and ranking all 11 cars liveries. I have a feeling I already know what's winning though, because currently I think the Red Bull is the best. I'm not biased at all, but yeah, aside from that, I'm Janae Brazell. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to see more from me, you can go follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I am also a makeup and special effects artist, so you can see that work from me there, as well as little updates about YouTube videos I'm working on and whatever else I'm doing. Soon more F1 things, no doubt, as the season starts to kick off. And yeah, if you like the video, please hit the like button, and if you'd like to see more from me talking about movies and Formula 1 as well, you can hit the subscribe button. And yeah, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.